no? Yung mahalagang stakeholders ng lipunan na nag-usap-usap, kailangan may minimum guardrails tayo about civil liberties, about the economy, about welfare, etc. Kaya nabuo yung welfare state. No? Which is, hanggang ngayon, kahit populist yung maging leader, the guardrails remain. Diba? Hindi pwede yan, no?
But Senor Ronaldo, you just came from Europe, I just came from India. So, like for instance in India.
Sorry, I came from the Vatican, no?
Father Ronald. No, the reason I'm saying is that, look at it, in India, the Tata family, almost the same era sila ng Ayalas. No offense to the Ayalas. Yeah. The Tatas, they had electric cars na mas maganda pa sa Tesla. I don't think people know that the Tata car companies...
in-overestimate mo yung mga Ayalas as modernizing.
That's what I'm saying.
They're not a modernizing.
That's my point.
They're also rent-seeking. No?
That's my point.
They're my friends, but they're also rent-seeking.
No, that's my point, Sir Ronald. And in fact, they're not even as bad as the others that we don't have to even name. So, ang point ko is, or in the case of Vietnam, yung VinFast galing sa isang dating nagbebenta ng noodles sa Ukraine. Na oligarch din, na supported ng Vietnamese na. But now, Vietnam also has its own electric car company, VinFast.
Pero malinaw kasi sa kanila, yung comparative advantage na kailangan nilang i-develop.
Na i-develop,
diba?
oo.
Yun yung binabanggit ni Justice kanina. Education is part of that comparative advantage, no? Anti-corruption is part of that. Infrastructure is part of that. Yun yung tinutumbok ng mga bansa katulad ng Indonesia, Vietnam, etc. Yung
India
mga lumampas sa atin. In-improve nila yung comparative advantage nila, tayo pa-deteriorate yung ating comparative advantage. If ever, may advantage tayo at this point. No? Fastest growing economy, pero underemployment lumalaki. Fastest growing economy, pero food inflation lumalaki. Fastest growing economy, pero education na-collapse. Anong klaseng economy yan? Diba?
Ikaw, yung undergraduate mo, Justice, was economics, where you taught a lot about industrial policy, trade policy. No offense to Philippine economics elite. I don't think it's as much emphasized. I mean, unlike in Japan, unlike in the US, industrial policy is very key, right?
Yeah, indeed.
Hindi masyado, di ba?
But going back to what you said, Ronald, they say we have the fastest growing economy, pero in all the indicators, bumabagsak tayo. And I think the worst there is that for every 100 peso of our budget for infrastructure, 30 peso lang talagang pumupunta. I mean, that's with that, I don't think we can sustain that we are the fastest growing economy. Kasi pag your infrastructure becomes old, cannot sustain your growth, babagsak ka rin. So I don't think this is sustainable. Yung ating fastest growing economy, that's not sustainable because to sustain that, you must have the right infrastructure. And right now, we are not putting our money in infrastructure. If we are putting it, we are only putting 30%. yung 70 nawawala.
Si generous pa nga 30%. Mayor Magalang would say, baka wala pang 20% yan based on our own experience in Baguio.
So that's why nauuna na ngayon ng Vietnam because sa kanila siguro 90% goes to infrastructure. 10% lang yung leakage. Malaysia maybe 20% ang leakage. And Cambodia now is catching up. No?
Siguro tayo 20% lang na.
Sabi nila sa Malaysia at sa Singapore, predictable corruption.
Efficient corruption. The term is efficient corruption.
So, hanggang dito lang.
So yun, I
curb
think
your greed.
Yeah, I think that picture of a fastest growing economy is not sustainable.
Because
it's
to sustain that.
Isang elephant in the room is inequality. Gini coefficient natin
Latin America
nasa level ng Congo. Rwanda, mas maganda ang kanilang Gini coefficient kaysa sa atin. Pero imagine mo yung ilang milyon yung namatay doon sa genocide, no? And yet their Gini coefficient
year-ender tayo, hindi end of the world. Okay, nagiging end of the world na itong topic. Of course.
Rwanda is hell. Bakit mas nag-improve?
Uy, magandang Rwanda, wag kang ganyan.
Nag-improve sila ngayon, no?
Magaling ang leadership nila.
Ngayon, no? And part of that, exactly, is leadership.
I mean, I don't like Kagame's, but maayos yung leadership nila, no? But, Sir Ronald, ganito. So, we have a short-term problem and a long-term problem. Long-term is hindi sustainable to. So, a form of an explosion is inevitable. You can say revolutionary upheaval, etc., crisis, right? But in the short term, there is a Duterte problem, right? I think we can agree to that. The Dutertes are sagabal sila.
Let's finish that first. No?
Destabilizer sila.
These triads, these syndicates,
It's a problem.
Nagkaroon ng political manifestation. Dapat i-resolve muna natin yan.
Yeah.
No? Unfortunate nga na habang nasa process tayo ng resolving that, may mga sumusulpot na ibang issues na nadadivert yung attention natin from solving
the first hour went to the budget lang. We lost the whole hour.
Yun ang ibig ko sabihin na ito, kailangan natin tapusin ito. Kung hindi natin matatapos ito,
hindi talaga ayos.
At itong mga ito ay magbibigyan ng free hand para bumalik uli. No?
Yeah, which they can.
Hindi ko na alam kung anong mangyayari sa atin.
Saan pupulitin ng Pilipinas?
As a nation, as a society, as a political project, hindi ko na alam. Kaya itong next 3.5 years is very crucial. Kung hindi natin mapupush ba, kung hindi natin mareresolve yung contradiction ng mga Duterte, saan tayo pupunta? No? Saan tayo pupunta? Ang problema nga, instead of focusing that, may mga sumusulpot na ibang mga issues na nadadivert yung attention ng tao. No?
Hindi, ang sabi niya, Sir Ron, tayo daw may kasalanan. Bakit natin dinidivert sa Duterte sa issue? Exactly, that's why we spent 1 hour discussing anything but Duterte. But Sir Ronald, and I think you have divergence of opinion. I'll go one by one each of you. Sir Ronald, lay out your case. Is impeachment possible? Isn't it too late? Can numbers be produced? Is even impeachment the best way forward? Ikaw, anong argument mo first? Then I'll go to Justice
Well, ang sabi ko nga nung bago ako pumunta ng Europe, no?
Yeah.
Impeachment is possible, pero siya ay nasa ER na because of the time limit, because of the indecisiveness
of the president.
Of the president. So napupunta siya sa ER. Kung in the next week wala pa rin mangyayari, ICU na yan. No? Mas optimistic sa akin si Senator Trillanes. No? Ako, mas pessimistic na kailangan ma-impeach yan next week. No? Dahil sa January, sana trial na yan. Lalo na meron kang eleksyon.
Wait,
no?
so you're saying the 106 votes should come next week?
Yes, it's doable. It's doable
course,
Yung 100, pero kailangan mo ng mga...
grasya.
Kailangan mo ng... Kaya sinasabi ko, it can be done. No? 104, 103 votes is doable. No?
Doable because without spilling the beans.
Because of the nature of our political system.
Which we explained in the
because of the nature of our political system. Hindi na kailangan tumagal sa Justice Committee. Pwede na yung
Sir, are you saying na we are okay with all the mumbo-jumbos if we get done? Di ba? Parang ang implication nito is lahat ng na-criticize natin kanina, okay lang. Makuha lang natin yung 106.
Hindi, kanya nga, ito man nakaka-distract. Dapat huwag nang palingan no? Kaya sinasabi ko kanina, no? Gumawa ng supplemental budget. Correct. Sabi nga ni Justice, medyo skeptical din. No? Dahil nasa nature ng balance of forces sa ating...
But sir, you're not answering the other big question. Is impeachment even the best way forward?
Yes. Dahil kung hindi mangyari yung impeachment, no? Hindi mangyari yan, kung hindi dumating yung ICC, kung hindi masampahan ng kaso, itong mga gago na ito, itong mga sindikato na ito, no? After the midterms, buwelo yan. Sila yung mga umalis sa kanila, most probably babalik. Dahil nga nasa top 2, top 1 pa rin sila no? And
this majority
and if they survive, they will have momentum. Tapos yung presidente will appear weak. No? Mapapaaga yung kanyang pagiging lame duck. Dahil nga walang nangyari. Ang haba-haba ng panmo ng mga in aid of legislation and investigation, ang ganda-ganda ng conclusion ng Quadcom. So nasaan 'yan? No? Nasaan napunta ngayon 'yan, no?
So fakeless ang dating niya.
Ang tingin ko mapapaaga yung pagiging lame duck ng presidente at magkakaroon ng momentum itong mga triads na ito, no? Itong political triads na ito. Kaya After the midterms, wala na impeachment. That's no longer possible. That's no longer feasible. Impeachment should have happened before the midterms. Mas maganda sana kung 3 months ago, 2 months ago, nagsimula yan. Pero nandito tayo ngayon.
Nandito na tayo ngayon.
Nandito tayo ngayon no?
Sir,
pero yung sinasabi ng iba na, oy, mag-impeachment na lang tayo after the midterm election. What are they talking about?
Medyo wala ng momentum yan. Justice Carpio, your take is that maybe the other things you can look at is yung kasuhan na lang sila, yung criminal cases.
Yeah, because the way I look at it, there's no more time for the impeachment because we're going into the election period already. and Christmas, that's they're on vacation. It's easy to get to 1/3 in the House, but the problem is the trial. There's no more time for the trial, and there's also the 2/3 vote is not yet there, no? From my count. So the best thing is really to file a criminal case.
Yeah.
But I think it has to be done when there's a new ombudsman already.
When papasok yung ombudsman?
April.
Oh, elections?
Yeah.
Okay,
So there
it might work. Yeah.
Pero justice, with our kind of judicial system, with all due respect sa inyong karanasan sa Supreme Court, yan ba ay pwedeng pabilisin? Baka kasi yan ay hindi pa tapos, may bago ka ng eleksyon, may bago ka ng presidente.
Appeal yan ng appeal
At least yung aking
that's where
observation.
skepticism comes.
Well, if the new ombudsman, whoever will be appointed.
May mga candidates na, di ba? May mga pangalan na lumilitaw.
Well, I think they will give it priority.
Yeah.
So, tsaka it's laid down already. The weaknesses are there, the issues are there, so mabilis na yan, no? So, from the...
Yun nga, inisip ko Justice, di ba? Pwede mag-complement The impeachment proceedings, even though it could be politically hijacked or torpedoed, it has brought enough dirt out to make a final court case more legitimate.
Pero kung hindi maganda ang handling kasi niyan, pwede yung gagawin dyan nila Sara, gagawin
I know, let's make it look,
to get sympathy. No? Sa impeachment, wala sila makukuha sympathy dahil pag successful yung impeachment, hindi ka na makakatakbo. Kahit anong sympathy yung makuha mo, ay wala ng purpose. Pero din sa, ang popular reservation ko lang doon sa mga trial, no? Kung it will take some time, they can harness sympathy. Look, no? Kami ay kinukuyog, kami ay pinipersecute, etc. So kung anong pwede nilang i-transform yung ganyan, lalo na kung hindi maganda yung handling ng gobyerno. Sa impeachment, tapos na Hindi ka na makakatakbo kahit barangay captain, kahit barangay councilor.
Disqualified ka na.
Kung may makuha ka mang sympathy, sa may ilalagay? Kay Pulong?
Kay Basta.
Si Digong hindi na pwede tumakbo. No? So, yun lang yung calculation.
I don't think we have any airtight answers, right? But do you think a Deus Ex Machina could be the ICC?
The ICC, yeah.
That looks like to me the only like that will unlock the whole mystery, right? Kasi ang hirap deadlock na tayo. I can see deadlock.
Yeah, because if the ICC arrest comes out, let's say the next month.
Torrent na yan,
Sa akin kasi, ang best case is ICC, Digong, Bato, etc.
And then Sara.
Impeachment.
Yeah.
Sara. Best case Tapos cases, Mad Scarpio, no?
Yun din ang inisip ko.
Pulong Duterte, etc. So, yun sa akin ang best case.
Yun yung torrent,
na meron kang cases, meron kang impeachment, meron kang ICC.
Yeah.
No?
Because Sara could be part of the ICC arrest order.
Also, kasi Davao.
Pero ang history kasi, justice ng ICC, principals
Yeah,
hindi masyadong sinasama yung mga kasama sa communication. Kasama kasi si Sara sa communication.
Yeah, but the Las Cañas testimony says that when Sara was the mayor, she continued.
Yes,
and she even tweaked it that wag na dalhin sa ospital kasi madami pang nagtatanong mga media, ilibing na lang kaagad. So that's principal.
Yeah.
So she can qualify as a principal.
Yeah.
Sana yun ang plan. Usually kasi kahit si Bongo kasama
Yes.
Dun sa communication.
Hindi lang si Bato, no?
Basa ko nga, may pinatira siya sa Okada Hotel mismo.
And under the Philippine International Humanitarian Law, there's a provision there. This was passed before we became a member of ICC na the president, at his discretion, can have the accused prosecuted here or turn him over to an international tribunal. So, nasa presidente yan, no?
Halimbawa, yung sa Serbia, si Milosevic, talaga nag-focus ng ICC sa kanya. Ang daming generals na kasama dyan sa genocide na yan. No? Pero, ginawa nila batches. Ginawa nilang batches. Ito muna. No? Dahil hihina yung kaso kung marami yung sabay-sabay. Yun yung, at least yung history nila, yung mga warlords sa Africa. No? Ganun silang ginawa nila. Ang problema, yung iba nakatakas. Kaya, meron kang 16, no? na at large. No? Yung iba namatay na. Dahil nga, ginawang batches.
Yeah. Now, let's go to the last part of the discussion kasi Ronald, lalat ng mga galit. Wala tayong pinag-usapan na opposition para puro tayo. Marcos, Trapos, Dutertes. Justice, How do you feel about prospects of opposition now? Obviously, a part of you can say, realistically, we have to plan for 2020. That's really the next fight. Lenny consistently is top 3, at least doon sa presidential balls. It's very certain almost that she'll win as mayor and almost certain that she'll do well. Naga is already well developed. So you cannot rule out Lenny running again in 2027, 2028. Once there's a build-up of support, Risa is doing very well as a senator. She's the star there. And na mainstream siya in ways that she was not mainstream before, for reasons that we can discuss more later on. Bam and Kiko are not doing too bad in the Senate. De Lima is kind of coming back into force. Well, not too bad. Okay, let's. Shell at least is now part of the Akbayan, so some sort of reinforcement is going on. What do you feel about the prospects of opposition? Kasi 6 months, 8 months ago, medyo ano pa tayo, diba? Medyo we were still worried about the real opposition, the genuine opposition.
Well, when you...
And what should they do also?
Yeah, when we discuss that, you're looking at 2028.
Yeah.
But for 2028, Lenny can be a candidate. Okay. Lisa can be a candidate. So we have 2
good options.
Yeah, good options. So we can still put up we can put up good candidates for 2028, regardless of what happens in the 2025 election.
Yeah. At ang positive doon, meron kang mahaba na runway. Exactly. Kumpara nung last election. Na just buwan lang yung runway mo. Ngayon, you have 3.5 years para maganda, mag-create ng brand. Paano ang problema ko ngayon is a brand. No, yun. Yeah. Halimbawa, kung totoo yung mga surveys, half ng ating voting population naghahanap ng alternative.
Yeah, sa Okta survey ito,
no?
Diba? Yeah.
Kalahati naghahanap. No? Ang problema, yung naghahanap na yan, nag-shift papunta sa mga tulfo. Dahil sila yung may brand. Tayo walang
may
brand.
Momentum.
Tayo, yung preference sa atin is 4-5%. No? Dahil nga, we are coming from a defeat, no, na hindi natin na-develop into a victory, a glorious victory. Dahil kung inasahan mo, ako inasahan ko kasi mag-unravel yung unity team. Kung na-harness natin yung pink wave, which is 15-16 million votes, tapos hundreds of thousands of volunteers. Iba yun iba yung quality nun
Yeah.
Nung sabi ko nga kay Randy,
Randy,
mas qualitative ito sa EDSA.
Yeah.
Dahil sunod-sunod itong mga demonstrations, Pasig 700,000,
Yeah.
Pasay 900,000, Makati 1.2 million, tapos yung mga probinsya. Sabi ko, hindi ako nakakita ng ganito karaming tao. Nadala yung sarili, no? Hindi hakot. No? Dala yung mga pamilya at saka maraming kabataan. Kung na-harness natin yan, after the election, no, nag-nationwide Thanksgiving and listening tour, tapos consolidate yan into a network, into a machinery, hindi problematic si Bam at saka si Kiko, plus, no, at this point, no. Pero, wala yan nakalipas na, no? From a progressive perspective, the objective condition is there. Katulad nga ng sinabi ko sa mga surveys. Ang problema, the subjective forces are not yet there. No, yun yung problema. Halimbawa, what is our brand? No, answer, kalaban mo Duterte and Tulpo brand ipatulpo mo, di ba? So, what is our brand? No?
Popcorn daw, popcorn.
Yun yung isang
popcorn lang daw tayo.
Because people don't vote based on platforms. No? Unfortunately, people don't vote based on substance. They vote based on brands. At yung brand na yan, basically, is disenchantment with the existing institutions. Yung weaknesses ng mga institutions na yan. Yun yung kinakailangan natin pag-aralan. What is the narrative? What is the brand? No? Na galit ang mga tao dito sa mga sistema, pero napupunta sa mga reactionary populist elements, imbis na sa atin. Imbis na sa mga modern elements. Imbis na sa progressive elements. No? In a way, kailangan din natin ng soul searching. What did we do wrong?
Well, we have been doing souls. I mean, this is part of therapy. Hindi lang
Kaya sa akin, mas subjective forces ang kulang. The objective condition is there.
Speaking of subjective force, and I want also Justice Scorpion this. I mean, again, India is an interesting case of Gandhis, diba? Si Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi is rebuilding, kasi if you know, si Rahul Gandhi parang konyo, half Italian, anak ng mga Gandhis, ganon, ni Sonia Gandhi, tapos pinagtawanan lang siya kasi, you know, hindi siya makamasa, tapos nabubulol pa siya minsan.
They were part of the system.
They were the system. So, dati, wala siyang laban kay Modi. So essentially, it's like, Duterte times Marrojas times 2. Essentially, yung level ng mismatch, if I can put it in terms of branding and positioning. But Rahul Gandhi reinvented himself. First of all, pumunta siya sa kung saan-saan sa bansa sa India at tinanong niya, talaga ba gumandang yung kalagayan na sa ilalim ni Modi? Ang daming sinasabi.
Nag-listening tour siya.
Listening tour siya. As in, Himalayas, Kerala, lahat pinunta niya. Tapos yung itsura niya talagang tumanda na siya.
Bitim.
Tapos umitim siya. Kasi konyo yun eh. Tapos talagang nag-motorbike diaries siya. Galing, galing. And then he was able to rebuild. The next thing you know, second biggest party na sila ulit. And then the other thing, so first, he was able to channel yung legitimate grievances. Ang daming big talk ni Modi, ganyan, India is this, India is that. Kayo ba? Ganun pa rin yung buhay niya. Lumala pa nga di ba? So, I think we have to do one thing like that, which is, Marcos kayo ng Marcos, golden era. Kamusta ang golden era nyo? Duterte bang alternative nyo? Ano naman nangyari kay Duterte? So, I think that should be one move. And then from there, you build a positive vision. At first is, reality check nga muna tayo. And then from there, what is the positive vision? In terms of positive vision, Justice Carpi, what do you think the positive vision should be? Aside from the usual, walang corrupt, walang mahirap. No offense to your admin. But it has to be more than walang corrupt, right? It has to be something more
Tsaka yun,
aspirational.
Para sa isang particular moment yun eh. No?
Exactly. Tapos yung moment na yun eh.
Kaya nung pinagpatuloy lang ni Mars, hindi bagay eh. Dahil kailangan niya ng bagong narrative eh. Hindi niya pwedeng kunin yung narrative ng kanyang predecessor.
Yung iPhone 1 dapat ma-upgrade na.
Parang Aquino 2.0 ka lang eh. No? Kailangan may bago ka eh. No? Yun yung kulang doon sa kampanya ni Mar.
And Lenny showed us something with the pink movement. Ikaw, Justice, the reason I'm asking, you were the head of one sambayan, all that dami nasabi, 10 bayan. You don't have to go like, parang, one sambayan, isang bayan, like na-comment. Actually, to be honest, sino gumawa ng logo? Paano ko basahin? No, magagalit na naman mga tao sa akin. But sir, we have to be honest, right? And this is a soul search. Ikaw, Justice, what is your experience?
But one sambayan kasi wasn't meant to be a political party. It's supposed to be a
But we need, you know, the elder statesmen. That was the idea, right? Put people together. Ikaw, Justice, kamusta?
Well,
to the degree you can say nicely.
Well, I think we have to do basically two things. No, one, we have to address the political dynasties, because unless we address that, nothing good will come out.
Okay,
that's the number one problem.
So that should be part of our aspiration.
Yeah. So we have to have a movement to prohibit political dynasties, and second, we have to address the corruption issue, because the people now are beginning to understand that out of every 100 peso for infrastructure, 30 lang pumupunta sa infrastructure. And of course, that's not sustainable. So I think if you want to get the imagination of the voters, you have to address this too.
Yep. And
I don't know if the corruption issue is easy to explain. Nakikita naman nila yan. Pero yung political dynasty, it needs to be developed, because the thinking of the people right now is, hindi bali na magnanakaw, pero may parte naman kami, okay lang.
Or may ginagawa, di ba, RJ? Boss, di ba, yung hinahanap din ng tao, hindi lang yung malinis eh. Hinahanap ng tao yung may, get things done, di ba? Yung parang ganun eh.
Strong leader,
right? Yun ang hanap ng tao. Kahit hindi malinis, at least may nagawa, di ba? Kaysa yung, di ba? I mean, ikaw, anong sense mo, bro?
Yun nga, yung parang nakikita na may ginagawa.
May ginagawa.
Anong klaseng leader ang hinahanap?
Yung parang
ikaw, anong klaseng leader?
Parang tulfo type yung patok sa masa talaga.
Yeah. Even middle class. Actually, hindi totoo na masa lang. Even yung middle class, di ba, natin minsan hinanap basta it can get things done. Kasi yung pulsation service, di ba, majority BBM pa rin at saka yung middle class, yung C, hindi AB. Kasi
hindi, kaya nga sinasabi ko, una, kailangan natin i-resolve yung backward syndicate elements ng ating political system, which is the Duterte issue. I-resolve. Pag na-resolve mo yan, medyo male-level ng kaunti yung playing field. No? New actors may sprout up. No? Pag matanggal mo na yung element na yan. No? Ikalawa, maganda yung sinasabi natin na kailangan natin i-push itong mga affirmative policies na ito, anti-dynasty, no? modernization, etc., etc. So, pero, for all intents and purposes, may implement yan with the new leadership. With a modern, reform-oriented leadership. Ngayon, mga tactical battles, no? Ang habol mo, magamit yan, tactically, para i-create yung alternative. No? Kumbaga yan yung magiging kumadrona ng alternatibo. Yung alternatibo has to espouse anti-dynasty. No? Yung alternatibo has to espouse anti-cartel, anti-regulatory capture, anti-corruption, etc. Diyan siya susulpot dapat. Diyan siya magiging, for lack of a better alternative, yan yung bagong tulpo, no, na susulpot. No? At yun yung magko-contest sa Quad. Pero kailangan tapusin muna natin yung mga Duterte. No? Yun muna ang kailangan natin tapusin. No? Ikalawa, yung mga sinasabi nating mga pinag-usapan natin ito for more than an hour, kailangan itulak talaga yan ng mga movement like One Sambayan, no, etc. No? Dapat yan i-push. Pero ang dapat i-anak niyan are mga leaders na merong brand, di ba? Na ang brand ay pagbabago, ang brand ay reform. Na pag nanalo, ide-develop yung ating comparative advantage before it is too late. No, before it is too late. It's about a battle in a very competitive world. Kung wala kang comparative advantage, iiwanan ka na lahat.
Yeah.
No?
Last part,
Siyempre, yan yung last
end of the year. Actually, hindi siya last part. Parting words. Paparinig na Yan ang gusto ko sa'yo, Sir Ronald. Hindi ka lang listening tour Justice, patapos ng taon, 2024, crazier! This was the craziest. Ang dami nangyari, my God. This was a crazy year. I missed the flight for the first time in my life. Sobrang crazy yung schedule, keeping up with Syria, South Korea, Trump, whatever, Duterte. What are your concerns or fears for next year? But what are also your hopes? And sa tingin niyo, the good guys or the good people, what should they do next year para we have more of politics of hope than politics of fear as we go into elections? Just parting words.
Yeah. There are two forces now in a race. You have the group where I belong that we believe that we can still reform the system within the Constitution. That's why we have filed these cases in the court. Dapat yung transfer ng PhilHealth funds into dapat yung confidential fund, dapat alisin na yan. We're filing later on the government should disclose the purchase price of Sinovac and so on. We still believe we can reform the system in accordance with the present Constitution. That's one group of people. There's the other group who are saying, wala na yan, wala nang mangyari dyan. Let's go for RevGov. So, ito yung dalawang forces ngayon. No? So, now, it's a race. Kung sino mauna, if we can show to the people that kaya pa,
can still be done.
It can still be done within the Constitution. So, but we need these cases to be resolved fast.
Right.
Yung those who RevGov have given up already because what they see in Congress.
Yeah.
Lumalaki rin sila.
Yeah.
They're saying na wala na talagang pag-asa ito.
In the desperation mode na.
Yeah. So, these are now the two main forces in Philippine politics.
For change.
Because they don't believe that the present system should continue. So, yun ang nakikita ko. So, dito ako sa one side.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we will succeed. No? But I hope for the sake of everyone, we'll succeed. But we hope that the people will support us and we will succeed. But yun yung problema ngayon. Because if we don't succeed, the RevGov will succeed.
Yep. Or some sort of crazy populist, whatever
populist
it is. Yeah. Sir Ronald, bilang RevGov representative, the fascist solution, anong...
Well, hindi ako religious Gusto ko mag-end ng...
Make sure tama yung data mo
Gusto ko mag-end na listening to the sermon of Pope Francis sa Vatican.
Yes. Please remind people.
Ang sabi niya, ang problema natin ngayon sa ating mundo, we've lost sight of what is central, what is essential. Naiipit tayo sa mga trivialities at saka superfluities, no? Yun yung so kailangan nating balikin yung fundamentals ng pagbabago, no? Kailangan natin balikan yung ating puso, no? Nagulat ako sa kanyang first paragraph. Kailangan natin balikan yung contradictions, no, and inconsistencies of the human heart.
Right.
Imagine a Pope talking about that.
Well, he's not an ordinary, he's special.
Yan yung kailangan natin balikan. No? At balikan natin yung essences ng Christianity, which is about walking, no? Changing. We have to continue walking. The church to survive has to keep walking. Hindi pwede siyang tumayo lamang. No? Hindi pwede siyang mag-stagnate sa mga lumang dogmas. No? Kailangan natin magpatuloy na maglakad. In a way, yun ang kailangan ng elements of change sa ating bansa. Kailangan natin balikan yung ating puso. Nakalimutan natin, o nagkaroon tayo ng PTSD because of our glorious defeats. Kailangan natin balikan, ano ba yung ating strong points as elements, as forces of change. Saan ba tayo nagkamali? Yeah. No? Ano yung ating summation? And then from that self-awareness, then let's move forward. Let's move on. Ano yung kailangan natin gawin? With decisiveness. Anong lagi natin sinasabi? With the skepticism of the intellect and the optimism of the will.
Pessimism of the intellect and the optimism of the will, yeah. On that very spiritual note, I hope mapatawad tayo ng mga followers. Dami nagagalit sa atin, Ronald. Dami natutuwa kay Justice, pero dami galit sa atin si Ronald. Pero at least natutuwa ako na every time nasa traffic ako sa EDSA, biglang, Sir Darian! Gano'n mga motorbike na gano'n. So sabi ko, maybe we're doing something right, di ba? And the fact that people feel nakaka-relate sila sa atin. Kasi, let's be honest, I mean, like, you were a secretary, you were a justice, ako nasa media, and I think, I'm glad that because dito sa mga podcast natin, people realize we're also ordinary Filipinos just wanting a better country. And tayo rin, stress tayo, nahirapan tayo. We want a better future. So, thank you so much to both of you, Secretary Ronald Llamas, for your very spiritual. Para ayaw mo mag-shake hands sa akin. Walang ano yan, walang trap yan. Thank you so much.
Nilalabis ako pag nag-shake hands ka.
Carpio, parang the more we spend time, the less we trust each other. No? Medyo weird yung dynamic natin, sir. But thank you so much. I don't know kung sinong pasimuno dito sa dark humor natin.
At batiin mo naman ng Merry Christmas.
Oo, at batiin. Hindi, kasi marami pa kami, hindi lang kayong last,
pero
may mag-render.
Hindi natin makakasama si Justice.
Ayaw nga pala. Wait lang, sino yung sabi kasama ka?
I-edit out ba?
Wait.
May sumisigaw sa akin sa bata, Edu Manzanas.
Oh, yeah.
Sumisigaw sa akin. Hindi ako kilala sa Ronald, Edu Manzanas. Sa Dubai, yung stopover, Edu Manzanas, no? Sa hotel, sa Paris, Edu Manzanas.
Wait, hindi bosses Harry Roque.
Hanggang sa airport dito sa Terminal 3, no?
See? Sir Ronald, I'm just telling you. That means you have made it. You have made it. And Justice Carvey, may we see more TikTok episodes from you soon. That means may pag-asa pa ang mundo. Thank you so much sa lahat ng mga followers natin for supporting us through and through. To be honest, maraming times na you can see from our eye bags, we all have day jobs. I don't know about Ronald, but minsan parang, gagawin ko ba ito mga ito? Parang maraming manood. So thanks to you guys, parang nagkaroon kami, nainganyo kami na tuloy-tuloy ito. Ang dami namin bashers, lalo ang dami mong bashers kasi kasalanan ko naman talaga kasi I'm fighting everyone on different platforms. But because of your constant support, we feel encouraged. And God willing, please continue to support us para next year, lalong mag-next level na tayo. Because next year would be elections and next year could be one of the most consequential years in early 21st century Philippine politics. So alam niyo na ano maging libro natin soon. So thank you so much. God bless and may you have a blessed and Merry Christmas. Thank you so much.